I think it was 47, they had a couple races here, auto races, but then in 50 they organized it and they started racing stock cars here in 1950, in 51. And then it just grew from there, fifth mile racetrack, and then they run the bigger cars and the midgets and stuff. They had all series kinds of races here. And they had a mixture. Well, in 1965, I believe it was, they paved the half-mile racetrack and put lights on it, brought in the real fast super modifieds. And that is this group of 4 guys here that run the super modified. There's Wayne Landon behind you. He's in his 80s. He was a 4-time champion. And then there's Johnny Benson Sr. and Gail Cobb and Ralph Baker. They all run. Yeah, they all run the Speedrome at different times at another. But Johnny Benson won one of the last races at the Speedrome.
There were several memorable things that I had going in racing. One of them was racing at Speedrome. I got the opportunity. They were racing on a quarter mile, and that taught me how to work traffic.
I was a nervous wreck.
That's just where I started, and I learned a lot from them. The old track did a lot of crashing and how to fix a race car.
Used to kind of, as a kid, sneak in. They'd sneak me in because I was too young to get in the pits at that time. I was just a teenager.
My dad started racing in '49. I was there as a toddler. 1950 at the Speedrome, I was also there as a toddler the first year it opened. So, like I say, I've been there since the beginning.
It was tough and rough. Hold on, I gotta comb my hair.
He started racing in 1959, and he raced Indy cars, USAC cars, modifieds, sprint cars, you name it. He got burned real bad in 1968, 67% third-degree burns. But he was in such good shape that he made it through and went back to racing.
I knew Harry Obie and Mike Brochu and those guys. I grew up in Mike Brochu's garage. He taught me how to build motors and do machine work and stuff like that. And that's how I met Harry Obie and Ed Vanderlaan and Ted Otten and all those guys like that. And I used to go to the track at Speedrome with them, and pretty much up until the Speedrome closed.
It was wild. Met a lot of good people. Lots. Some people that I didn't care for, but we got along. You know, it's just what I wanted to do. When I was a kid, I wanted to race a car.
Well, my first race at the Speedrome was in a spectator. They had spectator races, and I used my street car, a '48 Ford, and that was my first race, and I actually won it.
Speed, the way it handled, you know, and I love dirt racing because dirt racing is where you handle the car. You know, pavement is good, but I mean dirt racing is where it's at. Yeah, I love the dirt.
A lot of times we'd start 30 cars deep, and they'd run 35 laps. So you had to pass almost 1 car a lap in order to get to the front. And Duke would usually work his way up through traffic because he knew all the drivers and what their perks were, and he kind of taught me what to do and what not to do. And after about a month of that, Adrian DeLuth is the guy that helped me. He says, okay, it's time to see if you can pass him, and I passed him. But then I lost the direction that I was going because I learned so much from him that I still felt that I could learn more. But I was able to race with him and had a good time doing it.
About 30 years ago, I went down to where the track used to be and picked up a couple buckets of asphalt. So I've got some of the actual track that they raced on 50 years ago, and I've made them into a couple of plaques.
We're going through a whole group of Bob Seneca pictures here.
Yep. Right.
This is what I've been waiting to hear about. I didn't know that they did this. I understand this has been going on for a few years. I never heard about it, but I wanted to see what the Speedrome stuff was really like. And those are my fondest memories from when I started.
You're looking at Berlin here? 'Cause
This is Berlin now.
Just the classic racing that took place. The racing nowadays doesn't compare to what we've seen back in the 50s and the 60s.
How is that?
It wasn't as expensive. They had more guys out racing. Cheaper. It was more of a family affair. I followed racing ever since, and I've raced some myself, a couple of championships. But I'm in it mostly just to share the history of racing now by posting old vintage photos. And I was recently told by Facebook that my photos have generated over 93,000 likes. And that's what I do it for, is just for the likes and sharing the history.
Everybody has fun here. This is the 3rd annual one, and it's been a good turnout every year that they've had it. And you get to talk all the old stories. It's a lot of old stories here. They're going to kick around. This will go on all night.
Located